What if Peter Obi never planned to actually stay in ADC? What if it was just a temporary move? What if it was a political strategy, a waiting game, or maybe even a decoy before eventually moving into NDC? Because right now, Nigerians are beginning to ask those questions and connect the dots. Why did ADC alliance suddenly start looking unstable immediately Peter Obi entered? And why were already reports of quiet meetings linked to ADC behind the scenes? And why are some ADC insiders now claiming that Obi's exit was already premeditated? Honestly, this entire situation is beginning to look bigger than the ordinary party defection politics. Some people are now saying that Obi may have politically outsmarted everybody. And others believed ADC simply collapsed before the real opposition battle even began. But today, we will break down the political theory currently shaking Nigeria online about this situation. First of all, nobody can officially confirm that Peter Obi joined ADC with plans of eventually moving to NDC from the beginning. Nobody. There is still no public evidence where Peter Obi himself openly said, yes, this was my plan. But when Nigeria starts connecting timelines, meetings, and political movements, then suspicion begins to grow. Some of these observations people are making are difficult to ignore because they have their proofs. The first meeting people noticed and the timing. Now, Peter Obi's movement into ADC happened during the major opposition coalition discussions. At that time, many Nigerians believed ADC could become united and the platform would challenge APC ahead of 2027. And initially, this movement created excitement, yes, but behind the scenes, report later started emerging that there was already quiet discussions happening with NDC figures, even while ADC coalition talks were still active. That immediately is what is raising eyebrows today because Nigerians are now asking the question, if ADC was truly the final destination, why was another political structure already being explored? And honestly, that question is a serious one. Then came the bigger problem, ADC internal crisis. This is where the situation becomes more complicated because almost after the coalition talks intensified, ADC started facing internal disagreements, leadership tension, legal uncertainty, and then public struggles. Follow this story. Now, in Nigerian politics, court cases around party leadership are very dangerous. Very, very dangerous. Because one court case close to election can destroy a candidate's legitimacy instantly. And many analysts like me believe this instability may have forced Peter Obi's camp to begin to reconsider their options very quickly. This is why some people now believe ADC may have been quietly positioned as a backup plan all along by Peter Obi. That's not necessarily betrayal, but a political insurance. And honestly, that theory actually makes sense strategically because no serious presidential candidate wants to enter an election year trapped inside an unresolved party crisis. Here is where the decoy theory really exploded. Some ADC insiders reportedly started claiming that Obi's exit was already premeditated. That word changed the conversation online immediately because once Nigerians hear premeditated in politics, people started suspecting secret calculation. Now, many are asking this question. Did Peter Obi already know ADC would eventually become unstable? Did he use ADC simply to test coalition strength first? Or was ADC always meant to be a temporal political bridge before the real movement into NDC? That is now the major political theory spreading online. And honestly, in Nigerian politics, this kind of strategy is not impossible. We cannot rule it out. A lot of negotiations happen quietly, long before public announcement even comes. That is a normal thing. But there is another side to this story. To be fair, some political analysts believe Nigerians are overthinking the situation. According to this side, Peter Obi may have genuinely wanted to work with ADC, but once the internal dispute increased, coalition unity weakened, leadership fight started, and legal uncertainty grew, the NDC option became naturally attractive to Peter Obi. And honestly, this explanation sounds realistic if you ask me. Because if ADC had remained stable and united, maybe the entire conversation about NDC would not have existed even today. So the truth may actually be somewhere in the middle. Maybe Peter Obi did not fully deceive anybody, but he may have wisely kept multiple political pathways open while watching which structure would survive. And politically, that's a smart move. You can't fault it. the bigger reality Nigerians should understand. Let's talk about it. What we are seeing now is bigger than just Peter Obi alone. This is about control of opposition ahead of 2027. And right now, Peter Obi remains one of the strongest opposition figures in Nigeria. And any political party that successfully attracts him instantly gains, just like NDC is gaining. You will gain what? National attention, youth support, online influence, and political momentum. That is why the movement is creating so much tension politically, because this is no longer an ordinary defection news. This is opposition restructuring that is happening in real time. And many politicians know that whoever controls the strongest opposition coalition ahead of 2027 could completely reshape Nigerian politics. To you now, having heard all this, was Peter Obi's ADC move a decoy from the beginning? Honestly, nobody outside the inner political cycle can say that with certainty yet. Nobody. But one thing is certain. The suspicion alone shows how strategic Nigerian politics has become. Some Nigerians believe Obi planned everything carefully from the start. Others believe ADC simply became too unstable for him to trust politically. But whichever side you believe you are on, one thing nobody can deny is Peter Obi remain one of the most important political figures shaping opposition ahead of 2027. And every movement he makes now will continue to shake the entire political landscape. So tell me honestly, do you think Peter Obi planned this movement ahead of time? Or do you believe ADC collapsed even before the real battle in 2027 begin? Drop your opinion in the comment section. And don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and turn on post notification for more deep political analysis and trending Nigerian stories like this.